Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and happy Oso Inspired Day. Oso Inspired is a collaboration hop that's coordinated by Call Me Crafty Al and happens on the 20th of every month. And for 2025, we're going to change things up a little bit where we're going to be inspired by a crafter and then each pick a piece from their social medias. And this month, we are kicking things off with Danny's Dreams. And you can see this card, which I have in real life, but is also on Instagram. And there are links to this card in the description box below, as well as all of Danny's socials, and as well as the team collaboration playlist. And I encourage you to click through and see what everybody picked and how they were inspired. So the thing that stood out here the most to me is really the combination of the neutral navy and these really vibrant yellow and green pattern papers. And I think it really kind of I don't know, it really draws your focus into the central focal image. So I think we're going to play around with that as a concept. And I thought because it is also the first day of the Crafty Stamp Co's uh, February release, we could play around with some of that stuff. So I grabbed a A2 card base. This is top folding. This is in Pebble Path because I thought that gray and pink would be really neat. And I actually miscut this panel, but I thought on the original, in this focal point, there was a broader border on the top image. So I thought we could play around with that as an idea. So let's get that together, and then we'll get a card assembled pretty quickly. This card is, I think, a really good example of how you can take a pretty straightforward idea. I think we've all seen cards with focal points and really make it interesting by using, a different shape or a different die or, just to play around with the color palette a little bit. So let me get this down like there. And there aren't really grays in here, but my focal image has gray in it. So I die cut couple pieces here just to do our focal image. I had tried doing this out of another pattern, sort of more like this original, but I kind of liked the focal image by itself because the color palette here is pretty uh analogous. I think that I really wanted the kitty to pop, and Danny loves pink, so it seemed appropriate. And I actually wanted to put a tag on here, so I think I'm going to not use the foam adhesive. So let me just get some glue and we can start putting this together. This is a hexagonal. This actually is the only hexagonal die I had in my stash. This one I think is a Stampin' Up one, but any shape die will really work here for this idea. And because I want to do a sentiment at the bottom, I'm going to mount this slightly towards the top and just make sure that things seem pretty even. I kind of like these dies. I also have one, like a postage edge one, that I like this, where it will actually cut out the center. So you can either paper piece it back together, or you can do some interesting things. Like if you actually cut a bunch of these, you could layer them up and do kind of a neat tunnel card thing. If you really want more of a recessed look. But I find it easier to put this together if you put the shape in first and then put the border around it. But anyway, your cat is going to almost perfectly fit here. Get it perfectly. Danny is a big fan of cats, as am I, and her crafty associate Alyssa also often makes appearances in her videos. And Alyssa is actually not colored this way, but I decided to leave the cat white because I really kind of like this whole white and pink with sort of a um the pink on the roses is a little much more purpley pink, but it works pretty well because there's some purples in this pattern paper as well. And then for the sentiment, also from this stamp set, it says, "Where have you been my entire life?" And then it has a little heart on it. And Danny is a prolific fan of tags, as am I. So I thought it would be really fun. And I want to kind of pop this up on the bottom. So I'm going to grab some foam adhesive quick to do that because you basically have like 3 layers of cardstock, and I want this to um, float a little bit, be a little more stable. So I'm just going to stick the foam adhesive on the bottom of the tag, and then I'm going to leave the release paper on so we can kind of futz around with it. I think what I want it to do is sort of, I don't want it entirely straight because this card is pretty straight. So I think I will just put it at an angle like this and then put a little glue on this side, and it should look great. So I will do that. So we have the adhesive on one side, and then I'm just going to put a little glue so that this can just sort of hang out. And I'm sort of basically I'm grounding the composition here on the back. You could also use 3D glue gel, which some other team members are big fans of. But this is pretty much our finished composition. Let me, oops, that didn't glue down very well. Let me go and fix that. There we go. Sometimes if you don't press down, it doesn't glue entirely. And here we go. So here's my take on this card. I think mine came out a lot more analogous because of the pinks and purples being kind of the same color palette, where here, yellow, green, and blue are much more complementary colors. So, anyway, I like both cards. I think this is a fun technique, and I really like the idea of actually using my stash and using a hexagon. Wow, words today. Anyway, thanks for checking this out. And please check out all the other collaborators on the playlist, and I'm sure there will be some fantastic cards to check out. Anyway, talk to you later and have a great rest of your day.